In addition to Menlo Security's ability to completely remove the web browser as a threat vector by isolating a user's web traffic, which thereby eliminates any malware, ransomware, or browser zero days from ever reaching the end user, we also offer the ability for organizations to make web categories read-only restricted. By applying a read-only restriction to a web category or URL, you're limiting the user's ability to fully interact with the website, specifically their ability to input text into any open fields within a website. So on the screen, I have a website loaded with multiple fields where I could potentially input text. As I hover over these fields or attempt to click into them, I am prevented from doing so because this particular website has a read-only restricted policy applied towards it. At the very bottom of the screen is a customizable banner that indicates to the end user that this site is read-only restricted. If you look towards the middle, there is a brief description indicating that keyboard input has been disabled based on the policy in place. Now, in this particular case, I have a policy assigned towards uncategorized sites that makes them read-only restricted. If I look up this URL, which I've done already on BrightCloud, this site is indeed uncategorized. But the great thing about read-only restricted policies is that they're not limited to just uncategorized sites or risky sites or sites that are threats or malicious. You could theoretically extend this to the whole catalog of categories that we have to offer. Another example here is maybe blog sites or social media. Prevent users from being able to comment or post or search, for example. If I click in here and pound on the keyboard, nothing happens because this particular site, again, is read-only restricted. If I were to attempt to log in, I would be restricted from entering my credentials. You'll notice that there is a cursor flashing here, but if I pound on the keyboard again, nothing happens because it is read-only restricted. Now, I would say probably the most prominent example of where read-only restricted comes into play and shows its value is in protecting against phishing attempts or credential hijacking. So in this particular case, I have a phishing email teed up in this test Gmail account. It's a banking email asking me to go to this website so I can recover my account. When I click on the link, I'm actually going to be allowed to access the site, but I'm going to be prevented from entering my credentials. As you see here, hovering over these fields, I am restricted from being able to interact with these fields or input any text. So tremendous value here in terms of phishing protection, preventing credential theft, or simply a user mistakenly providing credentials to a counterfeit website.